제가 생각했을 때 가격을 높게 부르면은 나중에 스팟 프라이스가 어떻게 되든지 손해를 안 볼 수 있으니까.
Okay, so here the loss or gain is a paper loss or paper gain. Okay, anyway, the contract is made and the transaction is done, and then later they will find out, oh, I bought it at a cheaper price than the spot price, or I sold it at a higher price than the spot price. Okay, so how can I say?
가격을 높게 팔면은 아무도 안 사니까 의미가 없는 그거 아닌가?
Okay, we are talking about forward contract, and here, for simplicity, we have just one buyer and one seller, and they need to agree on the forward price. And I'm talking about the risk aversion affects the forward price, and yeah, this is a forward price. And this forward price can be different from expected spot price depending on the risk aversion characteristics. And okay, then from buyer's perspective, they want to, if a greedy buyer or risk-taking buyer, they want to buy at a cheaper price. Okay, like that. And the risk-averse seller is okay with this cheaper price because he doesn't want to make a big profit by this contract. So he is okay with this lower forward price. So suppose that they agreed on this forward price. Then, yeah.
expected spot price가 애초에 그러니까 저게 어떻게 보면 셀러와 바이어 간의 네고시에이션 통해서 정해진 값이라고 보게 되면 저게 자체가 리스크 어버전이 외제된
No. So this is just based on the forecasting, price forecasting. It does not take their risk aversion characteristics. So yeah, these two parties negotiate. Okay, the seller wants to sell at a higher price. Buyer wants to buy at a lower price. Okay, they negotiate, and if seller is not quite greedy, then the seller is willing to sell it at a lower price because he does not expect high profit from this transaction. So I'm okay with lower price. That's the risk-averse seller's position. And from buyer's perspective, if he is less risk-averse or risk-taking, then he really wants to buy it at a cheaper price. Okay, so the risk-taking buyer doesn't want to go to this direction. He will. Okay, so think about it on your own. No? So suppose that this is a forward price and there is a difference between forward price and expected spot price. And the gap is called premium. So this premium is price that seller is willing to pay. Actually, this pay doesn't mean that seller gives money to the buyer, just the difference. So seller gives up this amount of profit. Okay, that is expressed by the price that seller is willing to pay to reduce risk. Anyway, when this forward contract is made, that reduces risk, right? When they cannot agree on the price, no forward contract cannot be made, and they are still vulnerable to price fluctuation. Okay? So seller is happy with this lower price than the expected spot price. because it reduces my price risk if I need to go to the spot market. So rather than go to the spot market, no, the seller is happy about this forward contract with lower price. That means the seller pays this premium. Okay, is everybody okay with that? If not, think about it. Read the textbook. Okay, and this is the opposite case. If buyer is more risk averse than sellers, the buyer is willing to buy it at a higher price than the expected spot price. Okay, so seller can negotiate a forward price higher than the expected spot price, and buyers agree to this higher price because it reduces the risk before and after of this forward contract. Anyway, if they agreed on the price, that reduces the risk. So buyer is willing to pay the premium to reduce risk. Okay. So these are the principles, and let's look at some cases. Case 1. Farmer estimates that the spot price will be $100. Miller also forecasts that the spot price will be $100, ideal case, and they can agree on a forward price, $100. They have same level of risk aversion in this simple case. Case 2. Farmer estimates that the spot price will be $90, and the Miller forecasts that the spot price will be $110. So, farmer, seller is willing to at $90. Buyer is willing to buy $110. So in this case, the transaction can be easily made between any price between these two. Okay, so they can easily agree on a forward price somewhere between 90 and 110, and the exact price will depend on the negotiation ability and relative risk aversion characteristics. Okay? Yeah. We have two factors. Negotiation ability. When you go to 당근 market, you need to negotiate the price, selling price or buying price. That's your negotiation capability. Okay? And also, this is about forward contract. So depending on the risk aversion, level of risk aversion, the price can be affected. Okay?
그럼 저 상황에서 그럼 파레토 이피션트가 아닌 거라고 봐도
Pareto efficient. What's the meaning? Why do you think so?
저번 수업 때 거기서 블로거에서 읽어봤는데 저 상황에서는 두 셀러와 바이어가 모두 프로핏을 맥시마이즈 할 수 있으니까
Not maximize, increase.
네. 그래서 저 가격선 안에서 모두가 행복해질 수 있다.
So you are saying it is Pareto efficient, or
아니다.
I don't know. I don't know, but no, in this case, no. Yeah, $90 and $110. Then anywhere between these two price, the transaction can be made. But depending on the price, the profit of seller or buyer changes, right? So if price goes up, seller is happy, but the buyer is not. And if price goes down, the other way around. So in this transaction, when somebody is happy, the other guy is unhappy. So that is Pareto efficient. But we usually do not say Pareto efficient in this kind of transaction. Anyway, good question. Any other questions? Are you with me now? Okay. K3, farmer estimates that spot price will be 110. Yeah, he wants to sell it at a very high price. And Miller forecasts that the spot price will be $90. So the Miller wants to buy at a very low price. So this is actually a typical case. The seller wants to sell at a high price. Buyer wants to sell at a lower price. And there is no transaction at all. There is gap between like that. And when you go to the stock market, you will see this kind of things. Usually, at some snapshot, we have a seller and buyers, and the price, and the quantity, or something like that. Something like that. Buyer wants to buy at a cheaper price, seller wants to have a higher price, and when under this situation, no transaction happens. But some buyer is willing to buy at a higher price, so he takes this offer. Or buyer wants to sell it at a lower price, then he changes his mind or her mind and sell it at a cheaper price, then transaction happens. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Stock trading or apartment trading, similar. Okay, so agreeing on a forward price is likely to be difficult unless they have widely different risk aversion. So unless they change their mind, the transaction does not happen. But if they have very different risk aversion level, then the transaction can be maybe made, but maybe difficult. Okay. So far we talked about forward contract between one seller and one buyer. And we can expand this idea to forward market because there are many millers and many buyers. The market can be organized for forward contract. Okay, and in this case, forward price represents the aggregated expectation of the spot price, plus or minus a risk premium. Okay, so yeah, forward contract is the concept, but we have forward market with many sellers and many buyers. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, again, this is a spot price. This is the expected spot price. Still, we have some uncertainty, and the two parties agreed on this price, forward price. And suppose that millers are less risk averse, so risk taking. Miller, buyer is risk taking. So yeah, that's why this forward price is lower than the expected spot price. Okay. Same thing here. So premium below the expected spot price. But on that day, actually, this line was not in the previous slide. On the day of delivery, the spot price goes down a lot. So spot price turns out to be much lower than the forward price because of a bumper harvest. What is a bumper? English question. What is the meaning of bumper? Is it a good word or a bad word? Check it. Bumper. Hing. Do you know the meaning of bumper? Bumper. Yeah, bumper, yeah, you don't have a car. You have a bumper on the car. The front bumper. Same bumper, but bumper harvest means 풍년. Okay, a lot of production. But then, yeah, because of bumper harvest, spot price goes down, right? abundant production. So the consumers can wait. So they don't want to buy the wheat at the moment. So a lot of supply and small demand. So the price goes down. So this risk-averse seller is happy in this case, and buyers is not. So farmers breathe a sigh of relief. Risk-averse seller, millers take a big loss. And then in the next year, the miller may ask for a much bigger premium because he made a big loss. He wants to compensate that. So he is more risk-taking. That means not him, sorry. So this miller may ask for a much bigger premium. That means he is much more greedy, he is much more risk-taking, etc. Okay. Then in that case, maybe the seller does not want to sell at that low price anymore, right? So under this circumstance, is agreement between the millers and the farmers going to be possible or not? Maybe not. So that's why we need to diversify the risk. So here in this example, we start from one farmer and one miller and one commodity, wheat. But we can diversify the commodity from wheat to other, oil, corn, cocoa, blah, blah, blah. So in the previous example, farmers and millers deal only in wheat, and their risk is undiversified. So if we can diversify the goods, then we can share the risk. Okay? So can only offset good years against bad years. I mean, in the previous case. So still risk remains high, and the previous slide is that example. So reducing the risk further would be health business. So we want to reduce the risk further. That's why diversification is required. Deal with more than one commodity: wheat, orange, cow, corn, etc. And average risk over different commodities. Average over. Right? Taking average is a pretty good way to reducing the risk. You agree with me? Yeah. But farmer is a producer, and farmers may not want to diversify their production because it could be inefficient. I'm a farmer. I just only want to produce wheat. I don't want to produce corn or orange or cow. Okay? So this diversification can happen from consumer side. So the concept of forward market is expanded to other participants who really